we are totally living in a different planet, and it's hard for me to comprehend too, because I'm literally from that country that you saw. I was born there, I lived there, and that was my fate. If I didn't make it out, if I didn't safely arrive in freedom, I would be dead many decades ago from starvation. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Yeonmi Park and I'm a North Korean de facto human rights activist. So guys, recently, North Korea has got a lot of world attention because Kim Jong-Un, the dictator, told its starving citizens to eat less until 2025. And I really want to show you today 10 pictures that North Korean regime would never want you to see. And this is really related to how North Korea has been trying to lie to the world and lying to us who are living there. So basically, recently North Korea started this campaign using even animation to tell people how eating less is better and healthier, and they don't want anybody want to get fat. And like nobody is fat in North Korea anyway. And even when I was there, I remember they were saying that there are so many benefits of eating only 2 times a day. And if you are hungry, like, do you know how you make sure you don't feel too much hunger? Is you drink lots of water in your empty stomach and tie it with a belt. So initially they said, let's tighten our belt. That means like tighten our belt so we don't feel hungry as much. Then it's like add another belt on it. So 2 belts. If you are too hungry, so wear 1 more belt and tighten your belt. And that's how you can avoid the hunger. And they say there are so much benefits of eating only 2 meals a day. Now they say how children get shamed if we are fat, and that's how, we should never get fat as children. And this is so utterly heartbreaking because he's not talking to people who are like really very fat and has a lot of reserves. North Koreans never had the full amount of calorie that human beings need, and all their life they've been struggling with starvation. So I wanted this number 1 picture I want to show you, and this is right here. So as you did see, this is an American soldier and South Korean soldier, and the middle, as you guess, is a North Korean soldier at their DMZ. And these soldiers watching DMZ together, and do you see the striking height difference? Between North Korean and South Korean soldiers, guys, they are the same genetics. We are the same people. The nutrition made us having this much height gap. So right now, the North Korean regime recommends forces soldiers who are taller than 142 centimeters. And that is 4.6 feet in American height. My time actually was 148 centimeters. And now they even decreased that limit to 142 centimeters because soldiers getting so short because of malnutrition. To these soldiers, he's telling them to eat less and tighten your belts. And then also making a national campaign, making sure that people don't eat too much. And if they don't really even have anything to eat at this point, they are dying from starvation. So the next picture is, this is a picture of North Korean soldiers on the street. They look like a ghost, right? They don't look like a human being because they are so malnourished. Their heights, like I am only 5'2", and for North Korean standards, I'm very tall. And these men are like a head and shoulder than me, literally. And these are not even men, they're like little boys. They're like 16, 17 years old teenage kids going to military, being tortured and being starved like this. And this is a photo that North Korean regime never want you to see. They would rather you to see those like marching in the parade and looking at the strength of the regime. But inside, it's a whole thing is a lie. Like there's no other way to put it. Entire thing that the regime that show us when the tourists go see North Korea, it's all pure lie. This picture is these children in a daycare, in North Korean daycare. and you see that their skins, like I had a lot of those. When you get a malnutrition, your skin like somehow appears and you get so dizzy, your visions get blurry, and you have no strength. And normal just kids in daycare, they look like that. That's how much they are starved. And to these children, to these babies, Kim Jong-un telling them, don't eat less. And telling these people who are fat, I mean there's really nobody fat, but that's why they are making animation, because they could not show real life example who is fat. They're making animation and showing this child who is like looking like a little bit chubby and saying how horrible that is. And the next picture this is a man who picks up the grass. And I told the people when I was giving testimonies that I ate plants and grasshoppers and eat bugs to survive. And people saying, oh, you're joking. Why would they do that in 21st century? There was a journalist when in North Korea caught it. There's a man picking the grasses to eat. And this is a photo that Kim Jong-un he doesn't want anyone to see this picture. And another picture here is very interesting. Do you guys see that these children just sitting on the middle of the road? It's like that. There are only few times that people get to see cars, and we don't even have those roads in Haesan, like where I'm from. This is in the capital. So cars are so rare that we don't know there's like a crosswalk. We don't have a concept, and usually the roads are playground for children because rarely a car goes by. It might happen once a month or a few times a year, and that's why kids are just not used to running away from cars, because they don't know that's a dangerous thing. And people really don't understand you have to run away when the car is running. And this is a perfect moment to capture how North Korea is many centuries are behind from us here in these free countries. This is another picture, a man who uses a tire as his boat to fish. And it just shows the dire situation that people are facing. They cannot even afford not even a yacht or any leisure boats. Like I'm in Chicago and I see all these people with a fancy yacht and boats on the lakes. That North Korean fishermen using a tire. That's often a very common transportation that people use in the rivers, using a tire, and in between them you use a rope and you sit there and you carry things and you ride it on a tire. Another picture is this children is looking at the escalator. So the regime keep telling us that how we are so blessed, that North Korean children have nothing to envy, and how we are having this prosperous socialist paradise. But these children from countryside never seen escalators before, so they are so scared. They don't know how to get on it. And this is a reality that when North Korean regime shows this nice, ski resort in Pyongyang and telling the tourists this is how North Koreans are having all these facilities. Actually, for an average person, we don't even know what escalators are. That's how people are. The gap between the elite in Pyongyang and countryside is so huge. It's like a night and day difference. Another picture is actually this photographer visited North Korea. They showed the very, very nice. They select the best house they could find and then showing to this tourist. And then when he went in, and as you can see guys, they don't have a running water, there's a pump. And of course nobody in that water in the bathtub taking bath. That's the water actually we drink and cook with. And normal houses, I never even seen a tub like that. A mirror like that on the wall is like unthinkable. But this is like for North Korean standard, it's like the 5-star most fancy restaurant and hotel situation. And if this is a top tier of North Korean living situation, imagine what is like average people's life would be. This is the regime did their best job to putting up the show and showing people how they're so prosperous. And this is their situation. And this is the last photo. As you can see, these people are pushing the bus. Because there's no electricity and there's no any energy source, and the regime doesn't provide it to the people, you would see very, very often, if there is a transportation like bus or car is on the road, a lot of times people are pushing it around, and it shows us like North Korean people do not have any, they don't take any advantage of modern technology, modern transportation, and the regime chose to keeping people in this way. They don't want people to be empowered. They don't want people to have a good life. They don't want us to be fat. Even though WHO is saying 60% of North Korean population is severely malnourished. And the South Korea international organization is begging to give North Korean regime aid. And the regime says no thank you. And if they accept the aid, it doesn't go to the people. It goes to elites in Pyongyang. I mean, this is a, like holiday season in America, and I talked to a lot of American friends, and how they're worrying about putting weight during the holiday season, and how they're gonna go work out and getting a gym membership. We are totally living in a different planet, and it's hard for me to comprehend too, because I'm literally from that country that you saw. I was born there, I lived there, and that was my fate. If I didn't make it out, if I didn't safely arrive in freedom, I would be dead many decades ago from starvation. Thank you guys for coming back to my channel, hearing about the plight of North Korean people. This is truly a modern day Holocaust. Please help me share this message, hit that like button so YouTube can recommend this video to more people, and join my Patreon lockers, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.